You thought your headphones were muted. Guys, this week I am just overjoyed at this recipe. It's something delicious looking and something somewhat easy. I wanted to try it the second it came out, but I waited to do the cookie dough layer cake. I did a poll over on my Twitter, and overwhelmingly 50% of you wanted me to do this. Right off the bat, I did see that this was a little bit on the unhealthy side, and you will see that in just a minute, so let's get right into it. So guys, like I said, this one does not fit into my diet regimen for this month at all, actually. It doesn't have just 1 or 2 sticks of butter, not 4, not 6, but 8 sticks of butter in this one cake. That literally means if you were to cut this cake in 8 equal slices, each slice of cake would have a whole stick of butter in it. That is gross. Gross, but it'll probably taste delicious, so let's get started. In addition to our 8 sticks of butter, I grabbed some flour and heavy cream, some powdered sugar and dark brown sugar, a box of yellow cake mix and chocolate chips, some vanilla extract, salt, and milk. And the first of 3 parts to construct this cake are the cake layers, and I grabbed my yellow cake mix and just prepared it like it said on the box. The only thing I used differently was some butter instead of the oil, because that's what Tasty used in their video, and this is just gonna be a butter cake, so why not? Of course, you're gonna add some chocolate chips in there at the end as well. Give it a good mix, and I prepared 2 8-inch round cake pans and equally divided my batter into each one. I baked those at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes, and in the meantime started to work on the cookie dough center. The first thing you gotta do is measure out 4 cups of flour, throw it down on a cookie sheet and bake it for about 5 minutes just to kill any bacteria that might be in it and make it safe to eat raw. Afterwards I took it out, I let it cool down for a little bit, and then just tossed it into my mixing bowl. Along with the flour, I added 2 cups of brown sugar, 2 cups or 4 sticks of softened butter, 4 tablespoons of milk, some normal chocolate chips, a little bit of vanilla, salt, and then some chopped up chocolate chips as well, pretty much to make this like a double chocolatey cookie dough, I'm assuming. And once I had that mixed up and looking pretty good, I used half of it to put down in a third 8-inch round cake pan, of course with some plastic wrap so it'll come out a little bit easier. Toss that in the fridge to set up, and use the other half of the cookie dough to roll into little balls. These ones are gonna go on top of our cake. And lastly today, because we haven't used enough butter yet, we're gonna make a buttercream. They're gonna start... Is somebody coming through the floor? How's anybody supposed to work around here? And lastly, because this recipe clearly doesn't have enough butter already, we're making some buttercream. We're starting with 2.5 sticks or 1 1/4 cup. I love how they change the units as if it'll make it seem like less butter. And added to that 2.5 cups of powdered sugar, as well as a little pinch of salt, some heavy cream, and vanilla. And based on the buttercream icing recipes I've done in the past, this is gonna be very heavy. It also doesn't look like nearly enough to coat 3 different tiers and the entire outside of a cake, but I guess we will see. Now once I let my cakes cool completely, I just took them out of the pan. Luckily they popped out pretty easily. You can really see all the chunks of butter that weren't completely mixed in and kind of sunk down to the bottom and just melted there. But I tried to spread a super thin layer of my butter, pretty much, on top of the first layer of cake. And then I took out my humongous layer of cookie dough from the fridge and plopped that right on top. This is kind of heavy, so I'm hoping it's not going to compress the cake at the bottom into a pancake. But after I had another layer of buttercream icing on there, I topped it with my third and final layer, the second level of cake. And then just began the grueling process of trying to coat this thing in the remaining buttercream that I had. Now let's just say I did not have nearly enough. I pretty much decided that the only option here was to use the rest of this to just get a super thin layer, try to even everything out and crumb coat it, put it in the fridge to chill for a while, and in the meantime I whipped up a normal buttercream recipe. It literally has half the amount of butter but double the amount of sugar. That just goes to show you. This recipe is from my girl, My Cupcake Addiction. I love her. She's one of my favorite channels in general on YouTube, and I use this recipe constantly. I topped the whole cake off with the rolled up cookie dough balls, and I have to say guys, this thing does not look half bad. Now the slice that I was able to pull out of this might have left something to be desired, but you guys get the picture, so let's give it a try. I'm honestly not mad at the way this came out. You can see the bottom layer of cake did get a little bit smushed. Also, if you look really close, you can kind of see the difference between the new buttercream and Tasty's version. That little white line right there. I can't imagine this being bad. I also can't imagine me being able to eat this without thinking of how much butter is in it. Cheers to all you butter fanatics out there. I'm not happy that I like this so much, and I'm probably gonna eat the whole thing. Damn it! If this was warm, I bet you it'd be even better, because it's kind of like ice cold right now. I was also gonna complain about how the chocolate chips kind of made their own layers on the tops, but I kind of like that. It's like different textures. As you can probably guess, it's very heavy, and if I do get through this whole piece, I'll be feeling it later. But it tastes great. It wasn't that hard to make either, so I'll give it a 8.6 out of 10. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, leave me a big like. I'm glad you guys liked the new series I posted on Sunday. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. I go hit up a restaurant, I try their mac and cheese egg rolls, and then try to remake them. And I'm glad you guys want me to do more, because I want to do more. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. Let me know what recipes you want to see next. And other than that, have an awesome weekend. I'll see you right back here next time. Until then,